All right. Let's see. Well, I hear me. I see that. Can you all hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Hello.
Oh, we have sound. I'm getting so much better at this. I don't even know what I'm going to do with myself. Oh, turn that down. All right. So, welcome to the number 2 in our Friday night double feature, our late night dive into the modern horror game KULT. I know I have been looking forward to this one all day long. Actually, probably even longer than that. Since last time we had this game, I was excited to get into it even more. But it's an intense game, so this is going to be fun. And I'm kind of rambling on a minute because I'm just ad-libbing here as I put that little thing there. But hey, let's meet our fabulous players who've decided to stay up late. There's a handful of them that have hung around from Greyhawk City, Shadows of the Gem. So I know that some of you have already heard from them, so we won't talk to them. And I'm just going to throw Krista under the bus. First thing, the subway is going by, and Krista gets to introduce herself first. So, how you doing, Krista?
Hello, I'm doing great. I'm having a great time. Real excited to be here again. Ready to see where the story goes.
Outstanding. And let's go to I've got
I was going
Ernest.
to
I've
say-
got Ernest and Harvey switched up, don't I?
He's
I'm
in the
Julie.
wrong places.
Hey, I'm playing Ernest.
I noticed that just
No,
at the same time.
I have
Oh,
not sent you his 4,000.
I know nothing about him, but let's go.
I know, I was about to say, your character's name is Ernest?
Here, that's gonna become a thing, isn't it? Okay.
Did it.
All right, fine. Well, I'm staying with you, Jaylee. How you doing tonight?
Fantastic.
Tell us your character and I don't know. Tell us your character's name and say hi to your mom.
Hello, Mother. I doubt you're awake this late, but if you are, that'd be amazing. It's probably because you drank some wine. Me too. I play Harvey Winston. He's a sweet guy, very poor, very relatable. Trying his best to make his way in the world as an actor, but it's very hard, and so he's getting desperate to a bad state of desperate.
Ooh, that
We'll see.
sounds interesting, but
Foreboding.
yeah. All right. Well, before we get into that, let's go next door to Sasha. Who's Sasha?
I am. I'm Duke. Sasha is street kid, born and raised in New York City, kind of a skater punk, drug dealer, drug doer, general all-around piece of shit. Yeah, that pretty much sums him up.
Oh,
But he's
sounds-
our piece of shit.
sounds like a cousin I have.
We all
I think
have that
it's-
one.
I was gonna say we all have that.
Okay, and another one who decided to hang around after Greyhawk City, Chris. Who are you playing? You weren't with us last week, so tell us your character's name, although everybody who's watching can see at least the first part of it up above your head, and give us just a smidge about him or her.
My name is Dr. Ernest Kennedy, or is it? Bum bum bum. Yeah, he is a scientist. He is a professor at Columbia University in New York City in 1990, and for many years prior, actually. He's 60 years old, an older fella, very gray, very beautiful blue eyes, and he's just the most charming person you've ever met.
Outstanding. I always like charming. And speaking of charming, it's time for me to be charming for just a moment. If you have decided to stay up late with us, here at Tabletop Theater, we are brand new. We've got actors, writers, artists, gamers of all sorts of people who have decided to jump on board with us and really work hard to produce some quality, independent, creative content. And if you would like to support us, there's several different ways that you can do that. One, you can be here with us tonight, late at Fridays. It's a lot of fun, and we're going to put on a good show for you. And one of the other easy ways you can do it is you can like us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter and Twitch, and those are completely free, and you can get alerts as to when we do things and when we go live and when we make funny memes, because I have put somebody in charge of doing memes. Apparently that's a thing, so that's going to start happening, and you can jump on that bandwagon and tell all your friends about it, and they can come along and get some really great stuff too. You can also cheer over here in the Twitch chat and use your little bits. And I didn't set us up for the Deus Ex Machina on KULT. I'm going to have to figure out how to work that in. You guys don't do as much dice rolling on this side. But we're always taking bits, and if somebody blows me away with a whole bunch of bits, then we'll find a way to make it work in this game. But we have a little thing going with the Deus Ex Machina. For every 500 bits that gets cheered, then the players get a free crit. So we'll find a way to work that into the game. And that's one way you can do it. You can also subscribe to the channel. We get a little piece of that, and you can also go to our Patreon page, and for as little as $1 you can get extra Discord access, other things. I forget exactly what we got at $1, but we got lots of different tiers set up so that you can become part of what we're doing, and we try to make it as easily accessible. Unlike some other channels that are out there, while there's some really great ones, there's also some that are a little more difficult to get into, and we want to get as much really quality talent and really awesome stories as we possibly can. And so that's our goal here at Tabletop Roleplay Theater. So with nothing else, then one of the things that we are learning as we dive into KULT is something about dramatic hooks. And Chris is new to the game tonight, so we're going to talk about him just a little bit. And for those of you who may still be just a little bit shaky in regards to dramatic hooks, unlike some other role-playing games, dramatic hooks are, I'll say, half, just for simple, just to be simple, half of the way that your character advances in this game. So when you think of dramatic hooks as a player, you need to think of it two ways. One, strategically and meta, in the sense that I need to get this done, so I need to make it easy on myself. However, there's also the balance with the role-playing and storytelling side of the dramatic hook, and that is I have to get it done through role-playing sometime during this particular session. So you kind of have to weigh that out along with your character and the things that are going on. And as we're starting, I'm going to be easy about dramatic hooks, of course, and it gets easier for other players as we get deeper in. Here's the catch with dramatic hooks. In this beginning session, and I've already told, since we've got Chris is new and there were still some questions about it, that today we're going to continue as though we're dealing with our first session, and in such that you guys have control over your own dramatic hooks for now. So whatever you come up with tonight is still you're coming up with. If you get to check your 2 dramatic hooks off your checklist tonight, next week somebody else is going to pick your dramatic hooks. So it gets easy in that sense, and but you may have to pick somebody else's dramatic hook. So a dramatic hook is simply just this. It's a sentence that contains an action verb that you can complete during this episode. You can tell somebody something. You can visit someplace. You can complete something or finish. Confront somebody. Investigate something. Develop. Those are just examples. As an actor, any action verb will suffice. if you have a question, you can always ask me if you think it would work, but I'm not going to be crazy about it. You get to do 2, and I'm saying, as a player, make it easy on yourself. Make it simple. Even if you think, oh my God, this is going to be so easy, he's not even going to let me do this. That's the one you need to go for. The worst I could say is, no, that's ridiculous, and it's not nearly dramatic. But you are all actors, too, and that's why I love having you here for KULT, because I know that you are torn mentally because you want to make it good, too. And so I leave that mental torture up to you. But anything will work. Think about something that your character is, what they were, and what you hope to accomplish. And, if it's as simple as I want to get to the swap dealer with Sasha for Harvey, then that's a good one. And there's your gimme. I gave Blythe one last time, so.
I already wrote that one down.
Well, there's. Well, I don't. What?
No, I've got it.
I'm not going to start. Yeah, you got it.
I'm good.
But it can just be that simple, or well, because that's still a little bit part of your 0 session, and the fact of you and Sasha going to see the swap deal a little bit, because you have an idea of what's happening after that, and so you can also try to bounce off of that. Now, it's quite possible that you might not accomplish a dramatic hook. You might swing and a miss. That's okay. There are 3 other shots. You get a chance. You get shots at 5. Because at the end of the session, we're going to have a little conversation where we talk about if you discovered anything new about the truth, and if you learned anything new about your character. And just given that fact shows you that there's play in the dramatic hooks, because you may get to the end and realize that I didn't get my dramatic hooks, but boy, did I learn something new about my character. And then have you challenge yourselves, which I think is a pretty easy one as a player's. It's one that as a game master, I've been kind of toying with that since I have that written down here, because how do I make that challenging for you so that at the end you go, I challenged myself. Anyway, so you've got an opportunity at 5. So since Duke has got his all ready to go, we're going to start with him
Ready.
so that you all can compare and contrast before I call you out, and we will go through and say our dramatic hooks. So Sasha, what's Sasha's dramatic hooks for tonight?
Yeah, the first one I did want kind of a gimme, but I know that it's going to be quite the journey to get there, and the first dramatic hook is find the swap dealer. At the end of the last session, I opened a doorway and kind of blew Harvey's mind.
Oh my God.
Is that
I'm
Hugh?
so sorry.
Oh, no.
Don't be.
Hello.
So loud. I love it.
He's like, my dramatic hooks are.
Binks and Blythe here with you.
You're next, Binks.
And my second one is visit the scientist.
Ah.
I have some unfinished business with Ernie, and I want to try to visit the scientist.
Very good. So Harvey, does that give you just a little bit better of an idea of what you're looking for?
Yeah.
What kind of
'cause
questions you got?
It's just hard to figure out since I don't really know that many people now. But I had one of my hooks also as find the swap dealer.
Okay.
And then my other hook was discover something about like the being that's haunting me. Because I'm being like cursed by I want to discover something about my curse.
So let me ask you this, because that brings up an interesting idea. You know that you're cursed, in a sense. I mean, yeah, you know you're cursed, or you know something's going on. You want to know more about it. Is it just from like a curiosity standpoint, or is it from a strategic, I want to outsmart the curse?
I think it starts off as just curiosity, and then the longer he has it, the more he's wanting to outsmart it and find a way out of it.
Thanks, Spruce.
I think those are both great.
Yeah, Curtis, you said it was Binks' turn. I mean, come on, he's pissed. Listen to
Oh,
him.
yeah, sorry, Binks. We had a natural segue, and
So, like, I don't think that he knows what is haunting him just yet, so he wants to, like, find out
exactly.
what it is that's, like, in him.
That makes perfect sense. All right. Well, since Blythe had an opportunity to do it last week, I'm going to go ahead and go to you next. Give Ernest a couple more moments to think about his dramatic hooks.
I wrote mine already.
Oh.
He's
Well,
Ernest.
I mean, we can save the best for last, I guess, and go to you.
Oh, that's a challenge.
Wow.
No? Okay.
All right.
So one of my dramatic hooks is, I think Blythe should reveal why she killed the doctor to Sasha, since he just kind of witnessed all of this and freaked out a bit.
Maybe.
I mean, a little bit.
So reveal some information other than the obvious of this weird guy put a hook in my hand and said, "Hey, you
Yes.
wanna?" Okay.
Go a little bit deeper into, like, kind of prove like she had to do this.
Gotcha. Okay. What's the other one?
The other one is, I think, I don't know. Why I think she should confront the stranger demon and ask why he came to her now. Like what brought him here?
Right.
Does that work? Does that count?
Yeah.
Okay.
The specifics of why and stuff are unimportant.
Doesn't
matter. Confronting is, however you accomplish that. If that ends up being your motive as to how you think you plan on accomplishing it, that's between you and your gods. But confronting, that works perfectly.
Cool.
Outstanding. All right, Ernest. We are all ready to judge and ridicule the two dramatic hooks you have prepared.
I mean, I kept them very broad, honestly.
Yeah.
Reveal a secret and visit the... Are we... Okay, so is it pawn dealer or swap dealer? Because when I was talking to you...
I know. I had it written down wrong in one of my notes, too, because for some reason... I do that from time to time. I get these things stuck in my head. Like I was calling...
it doesn't matter. But visit that person.
Yes.
Visit that person and reveal a secret.
I double-checked it because I knew I was wrong with pawn. But yes, okay. So you want to visit... Oh, no. What was that again?
Visit the swap dealer.
Oh, visit the swap dealer.
And reveal a secret.
Okay. I'm kind of feeling left out of this party going to go see the swap dealer.
I have a strange feeling that you might get wrapped into it.
I didn't know there was a party at his house. No one invited.
Here's the deal, man. I think you're standing there with him. I mean, totally meta, but I think you might be standing there with him.
Ruh-roh, Raggy. Let's get this thing started.
Ruh-roh, Raggy.
Curtis, I had a quick question
Yes.
before we get started. There are some things that on my character sheet it says I have to roll at the start, but since I'm not technically cursed just yet, do I still have to roll those now?
No.
Okay, cool.
Nope. Save those for next time.
They're not fun things, so I'm okay with that. It's like roll to see whether you become possessed or like, okay, awesome.
Yes. No, I've already been taking some notes on those rolls. I'm excited for those rolls.
Oh man. fun.
Okay, so then we will change things up just a little bit. We did the dramatic hooks. Excuse me. And you know me, I like to always start things with a little narrative opening. And this one's going to be a little bit of a history. Bring this music down just a little bit, and actually, I want to change it up. I over-select the music because I can't decide which ones I like and which ones I don't. Nope. That's not the one I wanted. We'll go with that. All right. Let's get started. It was midnight on the 22nd of December, 1892. The first winter of Governor Seymour's service at Sandburn. They were gathered in the prison's deepest room, beneath the death row and the isolation cells. No screams could be heard through the stone. The iron door leading to the stairway was closed and locked. Seymour had taken off his coat, rolled up his sleeves, and cut a gash in his left arm. He now let the blood drip onto the floor and over the symbols he had drawn with the chalk and soot on the flagstones. His companions, were silent, with their backs to the wall, expectant. Seymour stepped carefully into the protective circle, surrounded by the holy names, and picked up the black book where he had recorded the ritual. "Take your places. We now begin," he said, opening the book. The assistants reluctantly stepped into the middle of the room, and nervously positioned themselves around the blood-stained triangle in front of the protective circle. Oi binu adakami ilasagataro. Seymour's chanting filled the room. The candles on the circle's edge went out. He dropped the book on the floor, and a raised voice began reciting long strings from his memory into the darkness. Adidra, adretas larinuja Elysia. Finally, he fell silent. There was a thud and a sudden high-pitched scream. The circle of candles lit up again, and in their light, the ritualist saw a creature crouched within the triangle on the floor. At first, it looked like an animal, but then, when she straightened up, they realized she was an old woman dressed in rags. They hesitated for a moment. "Catch her!" The governor's voice broke the paralysis, and the men threw their chains, specially prepared, over the woman. She screamed and fought, but to no avail. Shrieks filled the room. In her thrashing, she's forced to the floor. And the chains, they seem alive, merging with the stone floor and entering her flesh or eating her flesh. They didn't stop until they had formed a black net, pinning the woman to the ground by her own weight. something fell out of her clothes. It was a deck of cards. Seymour quickly stepped out of the protective circle and snatched the deck up into his hands. Carefully, he wrapped them into a silk handkerchief from one of the pockets and put them in one of the pockets in his crumpled coat. "Make certain that she stays here," he said before he opened the door and left the room. But that was a little over 100 years ago, which is nowhere where any of you are at this particular point in time. And where you guys are is all in your heads. But we have a new player, so we're going to go to him first. And Chris Ernest is a doctor or a scientist of sorts. Could you describe him for us? What does he look like today? You're
I've got to
muted.
pull
no, there you are.
my sheet up again.
Okay.
His eyes, this is a description that I wrote of him that I sent Curtis a while ago. His eyes are a piercing blue, the color of a crystal clear Caribbean sea just off the coast of a white beach. His hair, long since turned gray from age, is cropped close to his scalp. He doesn't have much sign of thinning or even a receding hairline, but keeps it cut close. His face is weathered but jovial to the layperson, the passerby. He will seem warm and pleasant on first meeting. The lines around his eyes obviously laugh lines. His cheeks splitting easily into a smile at the slightest provocation. But for those that know him on any sort of deeper level, they know the true nature of his smile, the cruelties this man is capable of, the extent to which he is willing to debase himself and those around him for profit and further proof of his theories, his truth. That is what brings him joy, forcing the eyes of his patients open to the truth, whether they're ready to see it or not. The creases in his eyes, his cheeks, his forehead are all filled with the sweat and blood of those he has used and abused to further his own experimentation. He has seen the horrors of war, but even more terrifying are the horrors he himself has created. Otherwise, he wears a generally dapper suit wherever and whenever he's in his lab, a lab coat of pure white.
And it is in your lab where you are at this particular moment. And I want to take you back in time just a little bit to the last time you were doing one of your experiments. And this one, well, first, tell us a little bit about your lab. What is it like?
It's in the basement of a brownstone in, I forget, Morningside, something like that. It's near Columbia University. And he's had this building for a very long time and has converted quite a lot of it to experimental rooms, torture chambers, essentially, because of the type of experimentation he is prone to. The lab itself, again, is in the basement, cold, sterile. Nothing along the walls, of course, no decoration. Metal. Nothing is meant to be comfortable.
You've got one of your last experiments last patients, I guess, may be the word, on the table. How do you typically prepare that situation when you are getting ready to do your thing?
Restraints.
Are they drugged up?
Mm-hmm.
So you've got one of those. And this one is a drug user. This is in that phase when you have decided to start using drug users to experiment on. And you've got him strapped to your table. And you're checking over your notes and asking yourself if you've got your dose mixed right for this particular venture. And the patient situated. And explain the procedure of the experiment. Like, you get him drugged, you get him strapped in. What do you hope for, or what do you do from there?
How early in my work on the serum is this?
How early is it?
Yeah, how early?
This is almost at the end. This
Okay.
is this time for this particular experiment, you expect the patient to see the truth and return sanity intact. Finally, some results.
Okay. Then they're strapped to it's the type of hospital bed that can be like turned this way. Not quite like an inversion table or whatever that is, but it's in this position, and the patient is heavily, restraints, ankles, waist, wrists, neck, and forehead. There's an IV hanging that's dripping a mixture of the serum I've been working on and pure morphine. And the basement it's a large basement, so if something crosses the veil to where the patient can see it, I want to also be able to see it if possible. But again, I don't test this mixture on myself, so I haven't pierced that veil myself. I just watch as other people do.
Right. You've administered your drugs. You've got your hopes set. Ready to take your notes. Ready to decide what's going to happen. And some typical things happen. The usual shaking and the tremors and the look that they get in their eyes when they go wide with fear and you realize they're seeing something. And something else happens. This time, you see something that you haven't seen before. Usually you see an expression, And it's almost like they fade in, fade out, and then come back. Sometimes they come back dead. Sometimes they come back messed up. Different things have happened different ways, but this time something else happens. And in front of you, because what happens is that you take a look at something about this one's eyes. And you realize that he is looking at something. Just out of reflex, you look in the direction, kind of, depending on where you're situated, at where he's looking. And you see it. It's like a tear, or a lot of tears, actually. It's like if some very thin gray fabric had just been stretched across the room and some giant claws had just reached up and torn some shreds through it. You can see through the flapping reality of your laboratory into something on the other side. And what you see on the other side is your patient walking with his back towards you. And then there is a bit of a scream, and then silence as you see your patient's body sucked into the darkness in front of him. And you can still peer through the holes in the shroud.
Because that is most fascinating.
And it's at that moment when you are starting to feel like maybe you've discovered something, that you see something coming out of the darkness. And it starts to come towards these thin holes in that shroud of reality, and it is a torn and mutilated body of what once was probably some humanoid person who might have been 6 feet tall, but now he is pale, decayed looking dead flesh with leather type clothing of sorts, but you don't see much of it because it's just scraps and stuff poking out between this rusted wire that is just wrapped tightly around its body, through its torso, just squeezing it completely. Its arms and its legs at its joints are completely bound in wire at the knees and at the elbows, so that attached to those bounded joints are spikes. Its legs are still intact, but its knees, its feet, are basically wired all the way up tight against where its butt is. And at its knees are spikes that it walks on. It has one for its arm. It comes off of the elbow. The arm is still intact, but again, bound with wire on both sides, except the spike on one side has a hook. And it looks right at you. Eyes to eye. And at that moment, it charges for the hole in the reality. And when it gets there, it stops. And it almost like it goes through a couple feet of some thick, invisible sludge before it finally reaches the edge of the veil.
So, as soon as it looked at me, I would have reached immediately for the closest sharp object.
Okay. What sharp objects do you keep lying around in your laboratory?
I mean, it is a medical laboratory, so there are plenty of scalpels.
All right. Scalpel in hand, you watch this ragged thing fight its way to the opening through whatever invisible force is holding it on the other side. And as it fights, you see it reach out its hooked hand until you see the hook poke through the hole, the tear in the veil, and hook it. And begins to widen open. And he fights through, dragging himself, spiked to the ground with his knee, using the hook, and pulls his way through this tear, and it continues to rip through. And as it comes through, it seals up behind him. And when it's finally through and standing before you, the tear behind it is gone. Does this creature frighten you?
It's not abject fear. Obviously, I have concern for my own safety, but it is more just sheer curiosity. I've never seen anything like this.
As you look closer, you realize that it was probably once a man. Its torso is pretty much naked. It does have leather around its biceps, but its arms are bound together. It has pieces of its flesh cut off, both of its nipples sliced from its body. Its ears are gone. You can tell from the exposed flesh and the opening that it was probably a man or a male at one point in time. That is gone, but is exposed. And it looks at you, and it kind of smiles, and it leans down, and it starts to get closer, and its face gets closer, and it's looking at you. And then suddenly, there's a train. Suddenly, you hear angels. Or what can only be described as angels. It's almost like a penetrating chorus of voices that just scream down, not with any melodic modern sense of what we might think a chorus of angels is, but it is a sense that you get that this is a chorus from someplace beyond, and it gets the creature's attention as it looks up into the heavens and flees your laboratory, slamming through the door and racing out to find whatever escape that there is.
I check the vitals on my patient to see if he's still alive.
Your patient, I wasn't clear
Like
about this.
disappeared into the
Your
the
patient
veil
is
also?
gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I will follow it and make sure that it doesn't damage any of my stuff on its way out.
I'm not really sure what it might damage on its way out. It depends on how much trouble it has getting out. It is fleeing the lab from whatever that sound was that it heard. But we'll let you contemplate that, because what we're going to do is then jump into a different space and time for a moment and go to Sasha and Harvey, who have just stepped through a door from an alleyway into a length-long view of another alleyway. This new alleyway is seemingly endless. There could possibly be a break way down there in that dark spot. There are no dumpsters, but there is crates and barrels and assorted odd garbage lying about that seems to get progressively more and more congested as the alley seems to go to its point of no return at the end of sight. There are fire escapes that go up the walls. However, the walls have no windows, and there is no sky above. It is only black when you look up. It doesn't look any dimmer than the alleyway that you were just in, but there's no sunlight. And the fire escapes disappear up endless walls.
I'm going to kind of look down the alleyway and then look over at Sasha and then turn around and look behind us. Oh, what the fuck is this? What?
It's listen.
What?
Just you said you trusted me. Just follow. Just Harvey. Just follow me. Don't touch anything. Don't make any noise. We gotta walk for a minute.
Do you have like superpowers? Dude, what? Yeah. I'm trusting you. Sorry, I've never seen. This is crazy.
No one's ever called me the Wayfinder before, but it's something that it's obviously look. This is something. This is something that I can do.
That's one of the most badass names you could have given yourself. Like, oh my god. Sorry, I'm freaking out.
Okay, now, calm down.
Yeah.
Shh. And just follow me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow.
Well,
I'm calm.
okay.
I'm ready. Okay.
Do you remember the part where I said keep your head on a swivel? Oh, Jesus Christ!
It's swiveling.
Okay.
This is just so cool. Okay.
This is not cool. This is scary.
Okay.
Be scared. Okay, let's go. And we take off walking.
I'm gonna shut the door behind me as if that matters, but he's blown away. He doesn't know. Yeah, but he's listening. He won't touch anything, and he'll follow along behind you.
Right. Yeah, you wouldn't think that closing the door would be such a big thing, but as soon as you closed that particular door, something went off in your mind that let you know that that was a momentous thing that just happened. The sound alone was more than you expected when that door closed. And as you head off down this alleyway, an unusual thing begins to happen, because what is our normal perspective when we look down, and if you look down a long tunnel, you'll see it come to a point depending on how long it is and how small that point is. And this alleyway looked incredibly narrow, but as you go down, you realize that perspective is much more pronounced physically than it is just a matter of a point of vision, as in that the alleyway literally is angled in almost a funnel-like sense, so that as you walk further down it, it gets tighter and tighter, and all of the clutter becomes more and more cluttered and damaged. And then you hear footsteps, running footsteps, coming from in front of you.
I stop and I put my hand behind me to get Harvey to stop.
I stop.
Because I don't ever remember meeting anybody. How far away are these footsteps? Can I see anybody?
You don't see anything right now, but you hear them. And it's just a moment you do see a figure running out of the pinpoint at the end of the vision tunnel, because there's really no other way to describe it right now. And it appears to be a man. And he's running, and he's got like a suit on, slacks and a jacket, a tie, dangling. It's still knotted, but it's dangling. A white dress shirt, open at the collar, and a fear like you've never seen. And as he's running, you see his jacket pull open, and he has got the harness of a police officer, or like a plainclothes cop who might have pistols in his jacket, you know, the little underarm holster thing. I don't know what the actual term for those are, but and he's running and he's running, and he sees you, and he's running straight at you.
Hey, guy, hey, guy. Does he respond to me?
Yeah, he like running, and then he like just stops right in front of you. What the fuck are you guys doing here?
What the fuck are you doing here?
I'm getting the fuck out of here. That's what I'm doing. Where'd you guys come in at?
Straight back. Where'd you come from?
What do you mean, where did I come from? I come from that way, man.
No, what part of the city were you in?
Are you alright?
What part of the city? It's fucking Manhattan, man. What are you talking about? What part of the city? No, I'm not all right. I'm getting the fuck out of here. I don't know. And he starts to like push past you and like run away from you guys and shove you out and move on. Do you do anything to stop him?
I don't do anything to stop him.
I'm not doing anything either. I'm just kind of... If Sasha tried to stop him, I would, but I'm just watching him.
Yeah, you just watch him run as fast as a man can run. You hear his footsteps.
Okay. I'm gonna take out my gun and very slowly and as quietly as possible move down the alleyway to the next doorway. I'm not going back. I gotta go forward.
Right. Well, there is no doorway. It's just
right. There is no back. Right.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. There is no going back.
So as you continue on, the alley gets narrower and narrower until finally you guys are still continuing to see an opening, but you've gotten to the point to where you are going to have to climb over you're going to have to start climbing over garbage and trash to continue any further progress. However, now you notice that as the alleyway has gotten to about a 4-foot width filled with trash, there is a turn ahead. It makes a 90-degree turn to the right.
After the pile of trash?
The trash is endless. It started when you first came through the alley, but as the alleyway gets smaller and smaller, and the trash just is all the way down the alley. It just continues to get more and more congested until now you're at the point to where it's caught up with itself to where the alley is too narrow and the trash is still there.
Right, but we have to climb up
Yes.
over the trash and then continue to the right.
Yeah, you don't see the bottom of the alley. You will have to walk on top of garbage all the way around.
Okay.
Hey, is this place like normally like this? That guy, he seemed pretty freaked out. Where are we?
Harvey, I gotta be honest with you. No, this is all new for me. Usually I can go in a door and I will walk down this alley or walk through like what looks kind of like a endless warehouse and find the next door and make my way out to where I was going. So I gotta be honest, this is new. So just but I told you this was gonna be dangerous. So just be ready for anything, okay?
Oh yeah. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. So we gotta climb on this?
Yeah. Come on, let's go. Let's just keep moving. The faster we get there, the faster we get out of here. So.
All right.
And start making my way through the trash.
Yeah, I'll follow him.
As you start climbing up and making your way towards this visible point of, you've got something visually that you can actually put your mind as a goal, this turn in the alleyway ahead. And as you start to climb on top of this garbage, you realize that these bags, some of them are garbage bags, some of them are like burlap sacks, there's crates and barrels, old stuff, some new stuff, some of it foul and rank, like the neighbor's garbage from last Thanksgiving. There's all sorts of stuff, but as you look closer, you realize that there's lots of personal type belongings mixed in with this rubble. A ring, or somebody's watch, a figurine, little things that somebody might treasure. And you reach the corner, and the opening is about 3 feet wide, and you make the 90-degree turn into what you think is darkness. But as soon as you make the turn, two things happen. One, the smell is enough to make you possibly gag. You might just gag. It might just make you vomit. I don't know what your constitution is like. But you also see light. And you also see that the garbage tapers off, and ahead, the alleyway opens up a little bit, and there's like an awning, like an old shabby storefront awning from some weird back alley, I don't know what, of rusty corrugated tin and sheets of different stuff. And there is just garbage. It's like, if you ever watched the series Hoarders, it's like one of those, there's just stuff piled everywhere. And you can't see it, and that's down at the bottom of this pile of garbage that you have found yourself on. You realize that you're probably about 8 to 10 feet above the surface of the street now. And you have reached this opening where you can go down this pile of garbage, so that you're so high up. And so this awning comes down, and you see light coming out from underneath it and all of this garbage piled around it, but you can't see underneath the awning. You don't know what's inside, where the light is coming from. And it's not a bright light. It's just a couple of lantern flickers. A couple of lanterns flickering. That's a better description. You also hear labored breathing.
Oh.
With a little mechanical puff.
Do we hear that like in the trash pile?
Yeah, as it's kind of like you reach the top, and I'm imagining that you kind of, as you stop yourselves, you kind of slide down just a couple feet in the garbage, as the momentum of you coming out into this space. But you haven't. I'm not going to give you credit for going all the way down into it yet, but you're just a little ways down, and you're absorbing it in, and you can smell it, and you can hear something is underneath that cover.
Can I?
Ooh.
So, one of my advantages is called Daredevil.
Right.
And whenever you're entering a dangerous situation, I can roll plus percentage or plus perception to get a chance at 3 different edges. Would you allow me to roll a Daredevil check at this point?
Yeah, I'm always down for a roll.
Are we entering a dangerous situation? I feel like we're entering a dangerous situation.
How does describe the? All right, so that's what's the description again?
So whenever you're entering a dangerous situation, roll plus perception.
Okay, so then it really comes down.
And then there are 3 different edges that I can choose from, depending upon the roll. So a 15 plus, I get to choose all 3, or I get to choose 3 edges. 10 to 14, I get to choose 2.
Well, I would say that my understanding of a dangerous situation is going to be much different than Sasha's understanding of a dangerous situation, and in that case, I would say yes, that you are entering into a dangerous situation, or at least Sasha thinks they are, and go ahead and make a roll. Let's see what you get.
Modifier is 2 because my observe is a 2. Sasha gets a 15. So that means I get 3 edges, and I can spend them anytime during the scene. My first edge I'm going to choose is called Keep Your Eyes Open, and it allows me to discover a threat before it discovers you.
Ooh, that's nice.
Okay.
Is there any threat that I can discover before it discovers me?
That's a good call. I have to think about that for a second. Yeah. You sense that there is definitely a threat underneath in the direction that you're going. There is an immense wave of concern that brushes over you.
Are there still, in this alley, fire escapes and whatnot lining the walls?
Not where you are now.
No, not now that we've made the turn.
No, they kind of stopped when you reached the about the 10-foot across as the alleyway got narrower and narrower.
Okay. Would Sasha think that he has to get to the doorway under the awning? Or would Sasha think that he has to get to the light at the end of the alleyway?
You don't know that there's a door under the awning. From what you can tell, from just there's walls and the buildings and the way of all of the piles of garbage, you have come to the end of the passage.
Oh, I misunderstood. Shit. Fuck. Okay. Well, then I'm gonna start moving trash, trying to get to under the awning in hopes that there's a doorway there that we can get out.
Dude, I think there's something.
Shh.
You need help?
Shh. Yeah, just shh, as quiet as you can. I know.
Okay.
I gotta find a door, okay?
A door.
I gotta find a door.
Door, gotcha.
Do you see any other place that there might be a door? No. This is the only place I can see where there might be a door. Fuck.
Okay, let's start trash. And Harvey starts moving trash.
It really, you're kind of like at the top of a trash heap. You're just actually barely over the crest of the top of a trash heap. And so there's really not a whole lot of trash to move. You pretty much just have to slide down the pile of trash, as it were, and get yourself level to the eyesight so that you can see. Does that make sense? You're looking,
I thought the pile of trash that we were on was
it's like
blocking the doorway.
Okay, now here let me re-describe this just a little bit, because maybe I wasn't clear enough. You're traveling through this passageway, basically, right? And the trash keeps getting taller and taller, and the passageway keeps getting tighter and tighter. And when you finally reach the end of it, you come out and you realize that you are on top of a giant pile of stuff, and you've ended onto this chamber that you are looking down onto what looks to be the top of an awning, and there's just like garbage piled up all around everywhere.
Okay.
So that you're like in this big thing, and then you're looking down
so you have to slide down the trash pile to get to
right into some domain.
Okay.
So if you want to backtrack and rethink how you approach it, feel free. But
oh no, I'm fine. I wouldn't be digging in the trash. I would have said, okay, quiet as you can. There's something there. I don't know what it is. There's something there. Quiet as you can.
So as you get just as you start about halfway down the thing, you can hear a change in the breathing. Who's there? And as you slide down the pile and you come into eyesight, you see that the trash is still on the floor. You don't actually get to see the floor, but the trash goes underneath this it's an awning, but you realize it's more like sort of this, I don't know, a tent type structure up against the back of this magnificent pile of junk. And it's really weird. The trash kind of comes into this little depression and then forms itself up again into almost like a seat or a throne. And on that throne sits this fat, sweaty looking, disgusting thing, humanoid. It's got 6 arms, and one of them holds an oxygen tank with oxygen hose that goes up around its nose, and its eyes are sewn shut. However, its big, wide, gaping mouth is open, and it is bulbous, and its other hands are fiddling through different piles of garbage and trinkets and different things that it can reach, all within piles, and it'll grab something up off of the floor and look at it, its eyes are sewn shut, but it'll feel it with a couple of its hands and then put it down and grab something else, and it struggles to breathe with this oxygen tank. And when you get to the bottom, it responds and looks at you as if it had eyes. What do you want?
We're looking for the swap dealer.
No. Do you have something for me?
Are you? Whoa, wait a minute. Are you the swap dealer?
He just smiles, and some drool falls out of his mouth.
Oh.
Yeah.
Say, when you came to this area, Harvey most definitely probably did throw up a little bit. And he's
Oh,
never seen anything like this at all. And the only way
Did you
cool.
see the picture in Roll20?
No.
Oh my God, go to Roll20.
So the only way he's keeping his cool right now is, oh God. Yeah, so he's just very pale and probably on the verge of vomiting again. So, ooh. So,
Harvey,
He reaches out with one of his big, fat, sweaty hands. And
Gross.
he looks at, well, I say look, he points his face, and it looks as if he sees you, but there's no eyeballs. And he motions at Sasha like this. Like, waves you away, out of the way. And
I thought the swap dealer was like some guy.
and then points with one of his other hands at Harvey and says, "What have you brought me?"
What do you want?
And he smiles and he drools. And does Harvey have any personal belongings on him, in his pocket, anything that he carries on him?
Well, he doesn't have much. He has his wallet, probably. I think he wears a watch. It's like a watch that his dad gave him. It's not like too crazy fancy, but it's still like a nice looking old watch. Trying to think if he would have anything in his pockets.
You got a knife.
He wouldn't have a cell phone. He has a knife. He does have a pocket knife, his wallet. In the wallet, he has a picture of his family.
What's the weirdest thing you have in your wallet?
Probably a really old condom. There's that, the picture of his family.
He goes...
He's not that weird of a guy, that's the thing.
He goes... He's drooling, and he's got that smile. Your dad's watch. The condom. And the nickel.
and he like this nervous. It's not something to laugh about, but he can't help himself, and he fumbles in his pocket, and he goes, okay, wait, why am I giving this to you exactly?
You want something, right?
Yeah. Okay, yep, okay, you can have the condom, you can have two nickels if you want. The watch, yours.
I don't want you nickels, I want one nickel.
Okay,
your fucking
one nickel.
dad's watch and that condom.
Yep.
Sasha lights a cigarette and a joint at the same time.
Okay. One nickel, condom, and my dad's watch. Do you want me to just hand it to you? Do you want me to set it?
As you
somewhere?
start to pull him out and bring it up to you, you notice that he's got a couple of his free arms on both sides, and they both reach out, and these big, fat, sweaty hands. You notice one of them is missing a finger, and he's just like shaking, like doing this grubby baby thing with this gimme.
Here, nickel, kind of.
And he's
Yours.
and he's looking at him and drools on him and sticks one of them down in his pants.
Oh,
And
Dad.
takes the watch and looks at it and he sits on it. What do you want?
I want to be better, to be successful, to be somebody.
He does the little grubby thing again. Sucks in on his O2. I can do that. I'm gonna need something else.
Okay.
I need. Come here.
He looks over at Sasha. And he looks back at the guy, and he's just completely white, and beads of sweat drip slowly down his face, and Sasha's not saying anything. So he takes a step forward, and then slowly another step forward.
As
He looks
soon
up at him.
as you get within arm's reach, and you're not even really that much lower than he is, just a couple of feet, and he grabs you
Oh shit.
and pulls
Sasha,
you in,
Sasha,
and he reeks, and he pulls you in close so that his cheek is touching your cheek, and he is wet
dude,
and cold.
dude, help me out here, dude.
And he whispers in you,
He like kind of
I need a kidney. Look at me. And he pushes you back, and you see that
I can
he's
find you a kidney. I can look.
ripped open.
Oh my. Sasha, you got a kidney guy?
I don't. No, I don't have a kidney guy. I don't deal in organs. Okay? Fuck. What the?
I need.
I am
little
back
one.
and forth.
Little one. It's gotta be little.
Okay. Like, are we talking a kid? Like, you want me to bring? Oh my god, dude.
As soon as you say okay, and when you've made the mental decision that you're going to do this, you are both back in the alley, standing in front of a doorway, right before Sasha went mad and took you to the to the swap dealer.
Dude, what was? I thought the swap dealer would be some guy like in a basement, like his mom's basement or something, and he's like got like voodoo books or some shit.
Oh
Oh my.
Listen, I knew it was going to be scary when we got there, but I'd never. Harvey, what the fuck did you just do?
I don't know, man. I gave up. Guys, my dad's watch is the only thing I.
No, Harvey.
I don't. And he's rubbing at his face, and it's just a nervous mental thing where he wants to get all the grossness just off of him, and he's just talking about his dad's watch, and he just like.
Well, while I hate to keep Sasha in the hot seat, I'm going to keep the pressure right on poor Duke, because he is caught in two places in two different periods of time. And not only did he just witness that from Harvey, he also is standing in the studio of the doctor, the husband of Blythe, and along with this creature that is only known as the Stranger, who's just produced a hay hook, and Blythe has just ripped out the doctor's throat with it. So I'm going to take us there. And
a year later.
I don't remember exactly what was going on, but I know Blythe had a whole lot of blood and didn't seem too turned off by it. But Sasha was kind of in the exact same state of mind that he finds himself now in the alley.
Yeah, I got to get the fuck out of here.
I'm holding the hook, and I turn to Sasha.
And I'm backing up, and I'm trying to get to the door, and I'm trying to activate my wayfinder. Like, there's a door handle here, and I am trying to make a path to get the fuck out of here.
And I still have this deranged look on my face, like I just did this thing, and it was great. And where are you going?
Anywhere but here. That's where I'm going. Anywhere but here. And I'm gonna reach out for the door handle.
And the moment he reaches out, she stops. She physically stops. And she kind of snaps out of it. And she and she looks at her hands, and I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. And she just falls to her knees and starts trying to clean anything that she can. Don't think poorly of me. I'm so sorry. Sir, I'm so sorry.
You don't get to get too far into that, because that thing is still there.
Is the Stranger still in the room?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, he was kind of holding the doctor up a little bit when he let Blythe use the hook. And as she kind of goes into her panic, Sasha, you see all of this happening at once. Blythe, at first she was like, "Don't leave," and you saw that look in her eyes, and then now suddenly she's flipped a little bit and regressed back into what might have happened. But you can't get that Stranger, who is just right there off in the periphery, or just right there to the side, who still has a hold of the doctor, giving his last gasps as they sit on top of the object that we know now as the Judas cradle. And the Stranger starts to laugh.
What the fuck?
And continues to move the dock until you see that the doctor is kind of splitting in half just a little bit at his crotch region as he starts to come apart. And as Blythe, as you go to your knee and you're kind of not really watching this because you're in shock and the blood, and you've realized exactly what's happened, you hear a voice above. Is this not what you wanted?
No, I don't know.
Oh, it's wonderful. And Sasha, you see him as he's talking to Blythe, and he's still continuing to just mutilate this doctor as he like splits him over a wedge as the doctor struggling to breathe, but he can't breathe because his throat's been ripped out by a hay hook. But for some reason, there's still some agonizing life. And then you see the stranger reach down to Blythe, and Blythe, the stranger, reaches down and offers you his hand. And as you look up, what once was colorless eyes, you now see it's like the eyes of your father. They're comforting, normal, endearing, almost as if they hurt. And he reaches down.
She looks up at him and with like a trembling hand, she like reaches out hesitantly, obviously, but she doesn't know what the fuck is going on. And she takes his hand.
And with what you cannot even understand, because it is a gentle touch, it's as if he's inviting you to dance on the floor. And he pulls as if, come up, stand up.
She gets up slowly, never losing eye contact with the stranger. She just, who are you?
And you're looking into those eyes, and they get closer, and they're comforting, loving, beautiful eyes. Whatever color is the most comforting that Blythe might find, that's the color they are. And they take you in, and the hand brings you close like a lover would. And the eyes get closer and closer, and you hear a whisper in your ear. Now I have solved your problems. And it is a cold, wet voice, and all of the comfort flees your body as you realize that there is a tongue that has started to caress your ear and the side of your cheek. And as you jerk yourself away from this creature, you see that he's got this long pointed tongue that's probably 8 or 9 inches that is just writhing and has like this drool dripping off of it, and the eyes are once again the color of what they were, and he just lets out this laugh.
Can I shoot that motherfucker?
Yes.
Oh my god.
I'm backing up. I am a piece of work right now. I am all shooken up. I got my husband's blood on me. This man just he has a really long tongue, and I'm backing up. I'm going over to Sasha. Seems like the most obvious choice right now. I'm just backing up to the door.
I am pulling out my gun and I am taking a shot.
Okay.
I am freaking out right now.
Wait, sir. Don't.
No. I as his tongue comes out and starts licking around your face, that is when I shoot. Before you even get to back up from him, that is when I want to have pulled my gun out and taken a shot. Like I don't give a fuck if it hits you. I don't give.
Wow.
Wow. That's
Clip, please. Okay.
Does he do it? Does he shoot?
Let's see. I believe I can. Let's see. There should be something on the.
Roll?
I think there's violence, fortitude, reflex, violence. Yes. You need to engage in combat under your attributes.
Yeah, and then I think my pistol gives me. I think it's just damage that my pistol gives me. Oh, I rolled a 2. Shit.
Oh my god, I'm gonna get shot. Don't. Oh my god.
I'm freaking out too much. I couldn't.
Sasha.
So you reach out with your shaky hand and your gun and you point it, and as you fire around, it clips it, tears away a little bit of the flesh on the shoulder, and its head spins instantly and meets you. It lets go of Blythe.
Oh, thank God. I'm scooting back. I'm going.
It walks up to Sasha just instantly. Just, it's there.
Oh my god. Oh no.
And grabs the barrel of your gun.
Oh God.
And pulls the gun out of your hand. And then it takes the gun. And it looks at it. And it looks back at you. And you see that just the pointy tip of its tongue flick out the side of its mouth. And blindly, it reaches the hand back with the gun and boom, 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 empties it into the doctor.
Fuck!
All right. Well,
And the doctor, what was left of its head and upper body is blown to pieces. I'm not exactly sure what caliber weapon you had off the top of my head. I forget what you said. But it's,
Midnight Special.
Oh, it's not pretty.
Yeah, it's real bad.
So there's a little bit more gore, and
I think I'm just screeching at this point. I think.
it unloads the gun into the doctor. Then looks at the gun, looks at you. It still has that wicked smile. It flicks the tongue again. It turns back to Blythe, and Blythe, as you start to wipe the tears and makeup out of your eyes and look up to see exactly what has just happened in the last second after the gun has gone off and all of this stuff is happening to you, when you look up, you see the stranger. He's a man in a suit coat with a tie.
You're not you. You're something else. What?
You see him reach out. He's looking at you, Blythe. But Sasha, he holds the now empty gun back towards you. He's returning it to you.
Fuck. I take it.
He lets
I'm
it
not
go.
leaving that thing here. I don't want to leave that thing here.
He lets it go. And when you take the gun from him and look at him, you see him as he is now too. A man in a suit with a fedora. Just a gray tweed. And he looks at Blythe and he smiles. And you can almost swear you see a little bit of a tongue flick between his teeth. And he goes, that was fun. I'll see you later. And walks towards the door.
Later. How much longer later? When will we?
Exactly. That's a good question, because at some point we're going to have to get everybody together at the same place and time. So we have two different parties, both with Sasha as a pivotal point. You are all aware of a particular person who has some knowledge, who is older and wiser. And so, I guess we will go back to, first of all, let's go back in time. Let's clear up 1989. And we've got Sasha and Harvey in the alley with any immediate plans regarding the kidney.
I don't know about the kidney, but Sasha reaches into his inside pocket, pulls out a small vial, and does a bump of cocaine.
Whoop, whoop. I offer. Because Sasha is a street person.
I offer Harvey the cocaine. You need some of this? You need something? I need something to clear my head. I gotta think straight. Okay.
I think I'm okay on that, dude. I think I'm good. I don't know if that would
fine.
actually.
No, it's on me. You don't have to pay. You don't have to pay. Just
like,
it's on me. Here. Just
freak me out more. What? So, do you know? You probably don't.
No, I don't. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Why did you do that? Shit.
In a bad position, dude. I'm tired.
Yeah.
Man, I'm tired of running around. Okay, Sasha, I'm not you. I can't just do a bump of cocaine and go on with my fucking shitty ass life. Okay, I want to.
Everybody's life is shitty. Everybody's life is shitty.
You know how much it sucks when all you want to do is act, but you're a shitty fucking actor, dude.
Yeah,
I
fucking
love
cry
it.
me.
Boo-hoo.
Boo fucking who? Why did you?
Let me. He just rubbed his face on my face. Okay, let me freak out. Go on.
So I'm going to let you freak out because since this is a bit back in history, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a break, and we're going to revisit this scene. But we're not going to do it anytime soon, because this has a little bit to do with how Harvey, who at this particular time in the alleyway was not the famous actor that he is now. Harvey, what happened after you finished your deal with the pawn dealer? Or see, I'm completely hooked on that. I made that mistake once. This is I pulled a Curtis here. The swap dealer. Give us just a brief montage of your success, your growth, your rise to fame, and where you are now.
Okay. I'm not sure on the specifics of quite how the deal with the swap dealer went. But,
no, that's fine. You don't have not about that particular thing, but just on the good side, on the bright side of the coin, good things began to happen to you.
Yeah.
And what were those things?
he slowly, like, he just became more handsome and taller and more toned. Like, he worked hard working out for a few years, but it just seemed to almost happen overnight. He stepped out, went to an audition for some big movie that had a lot of A-listers, and somehow got the lead role above all these other actors that went ahead. After that, it just kind of boosted his career. He was always charming, just not very good at his craft. And so he landed a lot of interviews, a lot of auditions after that. People started calling him for roles, and it's like he became talented. He became good looking. He became fit. And then through that, he gained his fame and his fortune.
Oh, so so it wasn't the swap dealer. I could have just put you on an episode of Oprah and got you all that
Right,
stuff.
there you go. Oprah could have done all of that. I don't think Oprah could have made him a good actor, though. Because that was the thing, is he loved it. It was his passion, the thing he loved so much. But when you're an average-looking guy in New York City and you're not actually that great of an actor, like, that's what pushed him to try to find other methods of reaching his dream. So, like, on the outside, he's got it all.
Right.
He's got money, fame, any job that he wants, he could get. He goes on talk shows. He has all the friends he ever needs, all the connections for everything. It's just
one last question.
Maintain that's the problem.
One last question: film or TV?
I think he would dabble in both, but mostly film. And then on the side, he'd probably want to do some live theater stuff.
Awesome! I was hoping he was going to do that. I wasn't going to bribe you.
On Broadway.
I think he's probably a singer and a dancer as well. Like, I think, like, he was mostly good at singing, couldn't dance, could barely act, and then now he's sort of that triple threat. And so
Dude, what if you got
he does movies to, like, make his fame more, because, you know, there's a difference between a Broadway famous and movie famous.
Right. Yeah. There's Hugh Jackman famous.
Yeah.
you got your first role was in Rent.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
basically.
Nice.
I think he started in live theater and then went on to movies from there.
So then that brings my next question then to Sasha, because we're going to we know that Harvey has to do a few dark things in order to accomplish that success, but we know that he did it. But Sasha, you've had a lot of crazy shit happening in your life, and you thought you had a lot of crazy shit happening when you were dealing with Ernest back in the day, but then you've made some friends along the way, and now you've found yourself having just a year ago seen some pretty crazy shit with Harvey, and now you have just witnessed some pretty crazy shit with Blythe. And both of these people are not they don't have the street smarts you have. You're going to have to guide these people. Or, you're currently in the situation with Blythe, but Harvey's never left your mind. You've followed his success from a distance. You know, he's gotten too big for you. But you do have Blythe here in front of you, who is not your customer. Your customer is now a bloody pile of pulp.
Full of my bullets.
Yeah. In one of his secret sex rooms.
Boy.
Ugh.
Me too.
I don't fuck. So this girl is back to herself. She's not the crazed demon with the hay hook in her hand.
She seems to possibly be in shock, really, if anything. If he hadn't have pulled her up, she might still be down there trying to sop blood off the floor.
I'm having a moment.
We got to get out of here. We got to get out of here right now. We got to go.
But we.
No buts. We got to go right now. You and me. Come on. You've seen my face. I can't. Nope. We got to go.
You can't.
Yes, I can.
We just can't leave.
Oh, we're leaving.
Look
We are
at
leaving.
My outfit. It's soaked in blood. We can't just go out on the street like this. We can't just leave him like this. Where did that man go? What happened?
I have no idea. I don't have a clue. I got called here to sell somebody some drugs, and then all of this madness just happened. We gotta go. Either you're coming with me or you're not. I don't give a fuck. Come on.
Can you just wait a minute? Can I just change really quick? It would just really make me feel a whole lot better if I changed.
I'm coming with you. Let's go. Come on. Where are we going? Show me the way. Quick. Let's go.
Okay. Sorry, sir. Okay. Just like.
Run.
Stop. You're really abrasive. Okay. Just follow me. And she like composes herself like in an instant. She goes back to like glass doll porcelain, like she is in her zone. So she goes upstairs. And she goes to her closet room, because it's a whole room that is her closet. And she looks back at him, because she's gonna start to undress, but she just wants to like make sure that's okay.
Oh, I've turned around.
Okay.
Hurry, please.
Okay.
We gotta go.
And she kind of looks around the room. Okay. And she starts putting on an outfit. She takes off her blood-soaked clothes. And she doesn't really know what to do with them, so she puts them on a hanger. She just kind of hangs them up.
Sasha hates you so much.
And she's like very meticulous with what she's doing. Like, so she pulls on her dress, and then she like pulls on new stockings, and she like goes to her shoe part, and she's like picking out her shoes, and she's not going fast.
No, as soon as you've got your stockings on and you start kind of staring through your shoes, I walk in, I grab a pair of shoes off there, I throw them at your feet. Get them on now. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. These are beautiful. I would have chose something different, but thank you. And she starts just putting them on.
I'm gonna grab her by the hand. I'm gonna go to the doorway. I'm gonna go to the door of the closet. I'm gonna close it. I'm gonna reach out my left hand, and I'm gonna use my Wayfinder power to get us out of here. I am not leaving this building. I'm not going onto the street. I am going to jump us to somewhere else.
She kind of gasps as he manhandles her, because she doesn't really know who this guy is. She doesn't know what his game is, because no one's really told her.
Okay.
What are you hoping for?
Somewhere close to home.
Your home?
House?
Yeah, at least somewhere in Greenwich. Somewhere the fuck out of here.
Give me a roll.
Oh, it's a 9. Shit. You discover a shortcut, but it leads you into a dangerous situation, such as the lair of some creature or an ambush set by some game. The GM makes a move on a 9 or less.
Dude, we really have to talk about your dice rolls. We really need to sort this out, bud. I am a fragile being.
Well, I got a 15 earlier when it didn't matter.
Well,
Ernest, where is your where are you in 1990? That's a pretty big question. What part of the city? And have you picked any particular location as far as part of the city where you're at?
Morningside Heights on the Upper West Side.
Upper West Side.
hi, Banks.
Nice. I get to make a move. Sasha, you grab Blythe, and Blythe, you it's not the first time you've had some man squeeze your arm. And while it does sort of, I suppose, trigger a few things, you're not to the point where you can quite pull yourself away as far as that goes. And Sasha, you see, I don't know if I would necessarily call it a rage, but there's a change that happens. And there is a wiggle in the invisible fabric in front of you, and he kind of just pulls you through into a bit of nothingness. And Sasha, as if things just couldn't get any weirder for you, when you pull Blythe through, you come through in, you're not really sure exactly as far as time. I'm not going to set a precedent and say that you time travel with this sort of thing, but you do end up back in New York. You pass through and you do what is typical, what you expect when you do this sort of thing, and you get that sick feeling in your gut as you pass through using your madness and Wayfinder. And when you both come through the other side, you both kind of stumble out of the air, as it were, as if you were dropped 2 inches to the ground, and it is just pouring down rain, and you are in front of Ernest's house, or home, or apartment. Blythe doesn't know where this place is. Sasha, you recognize it. I'm not sure exactly what your feelings are about this particular place, but you know 2 things. How you feel about it, that's personal to you, and that for some strange reason, when you wanted to go someplace in this state of affairs, this is where you landed.
Okay.
Kind of looking around in the rain and doing the stupid little girl thing where I try to cover my hair, but obviously it's still getting wet.
Yeah, it's one of those, it's coming down pretty good.
Well, shit.
I
guess we're going inside.
She looks down at his shoes, and she's kind of, I don't know, I guess projecting her relationship on Sasha now that she did with the doctor, just to establish some sort of normalcy. And she just nods and says, "Yes, sir." And she follows.
Oh, I don't say we're going inside. I just start going, and I just go and walk up the steps. I don't have my hand on you anymore. I don't.
Okay.
You can stand in the street if you want to. I don't give a fuck. I'm going inside.
Nope. I feel like one of my advantages is the perpetual victim, and so I feel like you want to take care of me. I don't think you. Right? That's a thing.
Is that one of your advantages?
Yeah, it says it's my charisma. You can appear defenseless and make others take care of you.
Yeah.
Is that a roll or is that just a thing?
I don't know.
let me pull that up. I'd meant to. Thanks for reminding me, Blythe. I had actually meant to go fill in some of the text on these advantages so I could pull them up on your deal. But let's look real quick. That's an advantage, right?
Full of things. Yes, it is.
Oh, what was it called?
Perpetual victim.
Yeah, perpetual victim. Perpetual victim. Whenever you, you're gonna roll plus charisma.
Okay. How?
Go to let's see, your character sheet.
Go to my character sheet. Okay.
And let me.
Under attributes on page 1 under attributes, it's the bottom left one. If you click on that box that says influence other,
it says influence other, because ultimately that's what you're trying to do. That's like you're using your poor me.
Okay, I click it.
And whatever your bonus is in the circle, type that in the box and then hit enter, and it will roll for you on the right hand side in roll 20. 21. Holy shit, girl.
Wait, where do you see that?
It's in the roll 20 chat.
So yeah, in the chat bar in roll 20 on the right hand side, there's those 4 icons at the top. There's the one that has the little, it looks like text bubbles, like the little chat bubbles up top. Click on the chat bubbles and it'll show you the rolls.
Outstanding. I love when we get to do some of the mechanics in this game. So with that roll, Blythe, you get to choose
all the things.
All 3 options. You get to save 2 of them for later in this particular scene, and you can use one now. And the options are make someone want to take care of you, make an aggressive person want to not harm you, but that's kind of a twisted way of saying that.
Yeah.
And make someone confide in you. So you get all 3 of those.
Wow, that's fantastic. I definitely want the first one on Sasha.
Yeah, that's kind of figured. So you can go ahead and use that one on Sasha, and then you can pocket the other 2. Make an aggressive person want to not harm you.
Yeah, because I don't know what we're going into, so I'm worried about that.
That's brilliant. A good roll. Nice roll.
Thank you.
And then make someone confide. All right. So Sasha, yeah. Oh, wait. My cameras got messed up again. What happened? No, they didn't. Yeah, they did. Sasha and Harvey got swapped on me. Oh, well.
How?
Okay. I don't know. Weird things happen with these Zoom cams. It's better than Discord. I'm not going to complain. So, although we do use Discord, if Discord's listening for some strange reason, we do use you every day. We love you. But as far as your video calls, they kind of suck. So, Blythe, when you reach down deep into that bit of you, I would assume that it's kind of like being what I would assume my daughters have done from time to time. But describe to Sasha exactly what he sees when you convince him, when you make him want to take care of you.
All right. You look back, just like out of a habit of just like, say maybe Harvey was following you or something, and you just look back and you see the most pitiful little thing you could ever see, just out in the rain, soaked down to her bones, just like looking at you, and her cheeks are rosy, and she's like all hunched over, and she looks up and she She just has these eyes that like pierce into your soul, and they just grip you.
So we can't do that again.
Okay.
So, Ernest, do do you live in a house or an apartment building, or is this like one of those, one of those walk-up brownstones with a basement?
Yes, it is a brownstone townhouse.
Oh, outstanding. And do you have a buzzer on the front door, or how is your arrangement? Can somebody come in? Do they need to knock, ring a doorbell, hit a buzzer?
Yes, it's got a doorbell. There's also, of course, a knocker, like an iron ring type thing. But
Gotcha.
obviously, most people just use the doorbell.
You hear the panicked pushing of the doorbell, and I would assume, considering the situation, Sasha might be tapping the door knocker as well.
So it's New Year's Eve, right?
Correct.
What time is it?
It is just after midnight.
Yeah, it's like 10 minutes after 12. This is so fucked up.
Okay, well, I would still be awake. Probably nursing a glass of 18-year-old scotch. So,
Specific.
My hero.
so I will. The way that my entryway is set up, there is two doors. The interior door, and then a small entryway, and then of course the exterior door. So I open up the interior door and I slide the peephole cover and look out, and I see Sasha.
That's right.
So I open the door.
How long has it been, Sasha? Sorry.
Probably at least a month.
So not really all that long, but
maybe 6 weeks.
Considering the way Ernest treats particular people, it might be surprising to see. So, okay, so you open the door?
Just like 6-inch gap. Hello, Sasha. I didn't call you. Why are you here?
Ernie, honestly, I don't know why I'm here, but I need you to let me inside. I know it sounds crazy. I will explain everything. Just please let us inside. I got somebody with me. We'll stay right here. We don't even have to come in the house. Just please let us in the door. It is pouring rain out here. I've had the craziest fucking 30 minutes of my life. And you know how crazy my life has been in the last year. This has been the craziest 30 minutes of my fucking life. Please let me inside.
Fine. And I open the door the rest of the way.
You make the motion to open the door, and I am already pushing my way in. And I have Blythe by the hand, and I am dragging her in the door with me.
She's just staring down silently, not looking at anyone in the eyes, just staring at their shoes like she normally does. Just
Blythe, Ernie, Blythe.
I don't have a particular need for
there's a dead man.
Subjects.
Okay? Just listen. There's a dead man. Okay? And there Jesus Christ, I don't even know where to start. I've never seen anything like this one, Ernie. I've never seen anything like this one. He was wrapped in these leather straps and he had chains hanging from all sorts of various places, and he killed him. He split him right up the middle. It was the most horrible thing I've ever seen. I haven't seen one like this, Ernie, and I'm losing it. I'm fucking losing it, okay? I'm sorry. I did not mean to end up here, okay? I did not mean to end up here. This is not where I meant to end up, but for some reason I'm here. So you
come to the kitchen.
Shit. Jesus Christ. Do you have a towel? Are there towels anywhere?
I'm sure we can find one.
Christ, I need a fucking towel.
Blythe is just standing there, just shaking, shivering. She's just shivering. She's cold.
I bet so.
But she's not gonna say anything. She's just cold.
Well, it's with that I think we're going to go ahead and stop tonight's episode. As much I would love to go on like a whole nother hour, but I know some of you got to get up early in the morning, and 2 of you are out on the East Coast time zone, and the cat has come in. There's Mew Jackman. He says,
Mew Jackman
says it's time for Daddy to go to bed. And some amazing stuff. Oh, you guys are awesome. I love watching you do your thing. Oh, outstanding. So, because
that was great.
We still have to get through our dramatic hooks and our experience stuff real quick.
Oh, yes.
And I believe that the 3 of you still have 3 points from last time, right?
Yes.
Okay. Just to make sure we're all on the same page. And
how many points do we need to like level up? How does that work?
that's a really good question. And I used to have that answer. Let's see. Once 5. Once you have accumulated 5, you can choose an advancement.
Cool.
And it says an advancement on your character sheet. I don't know if those character sheets on Roll20 have them, but I have a PDF of the actual KULT character sheets that I can send you guys, and it is also on page 137 of the book. Has got those little blocks, and I'm not going to go into it all now. Me and Sasha hashed it out one day. He was asking, wasn't it you, Duke, that was asking me about?
Yeah.
And I gave him the wrong answer at first, and then I was like, wait a minute, let me go back and read that again, make sure I have this right. And then I went back and read it, and was like, oh wait, nope, I had that completely wrong. And so yeah, but there's some pretty cool little advancements. If nothing else, some of the simple ones, you get to add a couple points to, or add a point or more to one of your attributes, which is always handy, especially when you get a roll like Blythe. Boy, coming out of the gate strong with that one. Bam! Not only does she got Sasha, but she's got 2 in the bag. You can still hang on to those because it's for the scene, but technically we haven't really completed that scene, so you get to keep those in your pocket. And Ernest, I was really trying to get everybody funneled to get everybody back to you. I'm in the same situation. This is a problem that I have as a dungeon master. I get really into the backstories. I'm like, oh, I want to build all the backstory up and then bring them all together. And I'm like 2 episodes in before I get a party together. So, but we're there. And welcome to the team. We're glad to have you. So, all right. So let's go back to the top of the list and let's see if we've got some dramatic hooks. So, Sasha, your first one was find the swap dealer, right?
Yep.
I think you can count that one as a go.
I think so too.
And look at you. Yep, you went. See, this is what I'm talking about, people. When it comes to these sort of dramatic hooks, think smart. Visit the scientist, because he was smart enough to know I had to get him there sooner or later.
Eventually, I would get there.
All right, so you get 2 points for your dramatic hooks, and we'll come back and do the other 3 questions together here in a little bit. So let's go to Harvey. Had a little bit of a good role play moments there. I loved some of the stuff that you did, and then I had to kind of fade out to the other group at the end. So I hope I didn't lose you too much at the end. But I was hoping last week you were going to get to visit the swap dealer, but
Yeah.
this late night session gets a little bit cut for time. So that was your first dramatic hook, was to find the swap dealer, and
we sure did.
and you got that one for sure. And then the second one was to discover some information about your curse. Do you think you did that?
I did discover that it takes a kidney.
That's right. That is exactly the answer I had in my head when I asked the question.
It at least takes one kidney.
And my poor dad's watch is now in the swap dealer's.
My dad carried this watch up his ass.
Up his ass. That's right. That's exactly what I thought of. As soon as you did that, I was like, Christopher Walken.
And you were like when you're like, I don't want 2 nickels. I was like,
You can only have one.
Love it. I love it. I love it. Okay,
good.
so all right, I'll give you those 2. Good job. And then we go to Blythe. Reveal why to Sasha.
I haven't gotten there yet.
You didn't get there. You did. Well, confront the stranger. I'd say you kind of confronted the stranger.
Confronted him as best I could.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. As much, I mean, what are you going to do? Stick your finger in his face? I mean, for God's sake, Sasha shot at him, or tried to shoot at him, and.
Oh, I shot at him. I didn't shoot him, but I shot at him.
Adam.
All
Yeah,
right,
I'm a
so
little bit-
we'll give you 1 for that, and you get to hang on to the other one. But next week, and the same goes for Sasha and Harvey. Next week, somebody else is going to be picking your dramatic hooks.
Interesting.
So for you other players, this week, your homework is going to be thinking about the other characters as well as yours. And that brings us to Ernest and his dramatic hooks, which I feel kind of bad because we kind of did a little bit of backstory stuff, and then that one's on me. So, because we didn't really hit yours, reveal a secret and visit the swap dealer. I'm going to give you credit for reveal a secret because we exposed your deadly doings to pretty much the world with that little episode. But you didn't get to visit the swap dealer, and I knew you weren't going to. I'm sorry. I could have told you. I could have told you that up front.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what the deal was with
That's
that,
okay. That's all right. It was your first one out of the gate, and we're not going to penalize you next week. I'm going to let you, since I let the others, next week if you want to pick your own secondary, you can. I'll leave that completely up to you. I'm sure the others would be happy to throw you a dramatic hook either way, but I'll take a little bit of ownership on that one too, because I didn't get to spend as much time bringing you into the overall story arc this episode as I had hoped to. Man, time really flies when you're having fun, and I am loving this game. Which brings us, okay, so everybody knows where they're at now, because I'm not keeping track of points. So,
Yes.
Okay, so Ernest, you get 1, Blythe gets 1, Harvey and Sasha are at 2, and I think that puts those guys both in an advancement. But then we get the 3 big questions. And these are kind of gimmies, in my opinion, because it's all about learning something. And the first one is, have we discovered anything new about the truth? So let me ask you this. Does anybody think they didn't learn something new about the truth, capital T?
No, I'm fully convinced.
I can see from the show of hands that everybody is still in complete confusion about what the truth is at all. So everybody mark down a point for that. And have we learned anything new about our characters? What do you think? Anybody? gets a little deeper when we start to talk about that.
I mean, I think that I knew that I was I knew that I was kind of selfish. I didn't realize how much of a selfish prick I actually am.
Right. What makes
So
you
I
say
guess-
you're selfish?
So I guess in a way, what makes me think that?
Yeah.
Oh, just the fact that. Well, and I didn't get to say it, but with Harvey, when we were dropped back in the alleyway, or the whole time that Harvey was talking to the swap dealer, the
Right.
only thing that was going through my brain was, you got to get the fuck out of here. Fuck Harvey. Get the fuck out of here.
Time to go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you wouldn't have stopped us, my next line would have been, I've got to run. I'm going home. I'm never talking to Harvey again.
Oh, you're a break.
I'm climbing back up the shit pile.
Best friend.
Well, I know Ernest learned something a little bit new about his character because we hadn't played out any piece of his backstory. He's had what he did, and then I got to throw in some new stuff. So he gets a little gimme on that one. Ernest, let me ask you this, though. I'm going to go ahead and give you the third question. I'll give you credit for that one, so you get a point on anything new. That's the first run gimme. And you did learn something new about your character because I told you. And so the third one, though, let me ask you, did even on a personal level, just looking at that tear and fabric of reality and seeing that the experiment was different, do you think that Ernest was challenged in that situation?
Yeah. I mean, just the question of whether he was afraid or not. I mean, like, I had to think about that. He's a scientist. He's been investigating the veil and the truth for nearly 40 full years. And so just, having been confronted with all of his experiments, what they have seen, and seeing the fear in their eyes, he knew it would be terrifying. But would it actually scare him? He's a scientist. He has to know. He has to know what the truth is. And so he puts that fear aside. And that, in itself has to be a challenge.
Right. Yeah, I was excited to see exactly. I had planned that once I started reading your stuff. Well, and once you had picked the scientist, I was like, all right. So there's what Ernest thinks he knows, and there's what he really knows. So that was pretty cool. Let's see. Blythe, am I at you? I'm lost now where we're at. Did you learn anything new about Blythe today?
Oh,
I mean, you learned you could rip somebody's throat out with a hay hook last week.
yeah. I don't think I learned anything new. I think she
No?
kind of regressed a little bit.
That's a possibility.
After-
You did fall upon some skills that are related to things that have happened to you.
What about the fact that you made the guy that probably hates you the most turn around and drag you inside from the pouring rain? Did you know that you could do that?
Yeah, I think I've always had that.
Oh, okay. All right then.
I've always been manipulative.
That's just part of my charm.
Well, let me ask you this. When you decided to
Charm.
use that on this complete stranger so that he would protect you and take you into this strange new abode, do you think that was challenging yourself?
Yeah. I believe so.
I would say so too. For sure. So give yourself 2 out of those 3. Did we do Harvey?
No.
Jaylee looks
No.
asleep over there. I'm sorry, Harvey.
I'm sorry. I'm watching the Twitch chat. There's a couple of lovely people having a conversation on there.
Harvey, I know you learned something new about the truth when you saw that big, grotesque, sweaty swap dealer.
Oh yeah, for sure. For certain.
And
That
made
was
your deal. And you made your deal. Did you learn anything new about your character?
I just keep learning this, like, how desperate he is. Like, he's gonna go find a kidney. Like,
Yeah.
not sure how, but it might have Dee reaching out to our doctor friend, rest in peace. But
Rest in peace. Fuck that guy.
And just like his loyalty to Sasha too. Like, he wanted to ask so many more questions, but he's really loyal to Sasha, even though Sasha is kind of a selfish prick. And so
Sasha is.
yeah, I'm learning something new about him every week, I think. So would we count that?
You got to argue for it, girl. I would say that I'll give you the yes, and
because I for sure didn't know that it would involve like a kidney.
Right.
And not just a kidney.
A child.
Small child's kidney.
Kidney.
What did you do?
And I suppose that also counts for the have we challenged ourselves as well too.
Oh, it was a challenge just for him to hold back the vomit while the guy was rubbing him on his face.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Well, mark your points down.
And to like go down there in the first place.
For those of you who achieved 5, hit me up this week. Look through the book if you want. There on that page that I mentioned. What page was it?
130 something.
Yeah.
I take notes.
137. And,
the best notes.
The best.
Oh
notes.
my God! It's 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna wrap this up now.
It's 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I know. That's what I keep thinking. Every time I go, oh, it's 1, and then I go, no, it's not. It's 2, man.
Where
So
do I mark
yeah.
these points? Do I keep track of them?
Tell you what, we can all have that discussion this week. Let's talk all
Yeah.
about that in Discord.
Yeah, just
Okay.
mark them down, and just remember how many you got, and I'll find out exactly where we can note them. There probably is a spot, but if not, just jot them down. And
You had three from last week, or 4 from last week, and then you got
And then-
4 more this week, right?
No.
3. Nobody got more than 3 last week.
Right. We
I
all
got
we
3 last week, and now I have.
Let's see, Blythe. Reveal
2.
why to Sasha,
So
that's a
2 more.
no. And confront stranger, that's a yes. And then the 3, so you got 4 this week.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
so you got 7.
So, yeah. Scratch out 5. That'll be an advancement. And we'll work through those this week. Whenever you guys find some free time, send me a message and check that page out and ask any questions, and we'll do that. I won't go through the whole thing because I had all of you guys do that probably 3 or 4 times tonight. I appreciate everybody who stayed up late to watch us. I am loving this game. I am loving the whole process of putting a story together. And as a matter of fact, I was trying to find a way to steer my own D&D game in the same sort of fashion, because you all know I like dark stuff to begin with. So I'm really digging this sort of thing, and I'm digging having you guys do this. So I really appreciate it. Anybody got any quick shout outs before we send everybody off into Nightmare Land tonight?
Shout out to my pillow.
Shout out to my pillow.
Hey-o.
Outstanding. Well, we've got Queasy F Baby there with Krista, and at Chris Stone Cipher, and at Invisible Duke, and at Jahoy _ Matey, Matey. Those, you can find all of these wonderful player performers on Twitter, and you can find them right here again next Friday as well, when we do Greyhawk City at 7, and then we're going to do this one right again just as soon as we can afterwards. I'm I'm plugging in 10:15 is the time now. I'm plugging it as. So next Friday night we're gonna dive into Manhattan KULT Divinity Lost one more time, and follow us Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, do the likes, subscribes, go to Patreon. Just shoot me a message if you want to know how to support or how to get involved. I'll tell you 1,000 different ways you can do that, from free to a whole bunch of money that you send to me. We can make it work any way that you want to work. So we love you all. I love you guys, and everybody have a good night. Thank you for watching.
Love you too. Wonderful session, guys. Absolutely wonderful.
Yay!
Good night, sweet dreams. I love you.
No murder this time.
You have to wait. You have to all say it back.
What's
You
that?
have to say good night, sweet dreams. I love you. It's a thing.
Good
Good
night.
night,
Yeah.
sweet dreams. I love you.
Good night,
Night.
sweet dreams.
Hey.
I love you.
Good night, sweet dreams. I love you.
Chris,
Love you.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
you have to say the whole thing.
I did.
Oh, okay. I
He
didn't.
did. It was just a really low voice.
Click,
Okay.
please.
Good.
Good night.